Hi, I'm Catherine Costa from 100mandalas.com. My YouTube channel is dedicated to mandalas, how to create them, and how to color them. In this video, I'm going to show you step-by-step how to draw the Torus Yantra. I learned about this sacred geometry form from Irina Artemonova from Moscow, Russia. She's also a member of our 100 Mandalas community. Irina explains what a yantra is and shows step-by-step how to create the Torus yantra. So if you prefer written instructions versus a video format, check out the show notes of this video and I'll point you to those guest blog posts on 100mandalas.com. This video is broken up into 3 parts. The first one is that step-by-step how-to instructions on creating the Torus yantra. In part 2, I show you one way of coloring this form to create the hypnotic eye. And in the third part, we have our first 100 Mandalas video gallery. I invited members from our community to submit their mandalas drawn in this form. Now, what's great about this gallery is it's going to show you so many ideas of where you can take this form. The Torus can be colored in so many different ways. And I think you're going to find the examples in this gallery are going to inspire you. There's so many different mediums. Be sure to stay tuned to the very end. I'm going to tell you how your mandalas can show up in future videos. And I also have a couple of great downloads that are connected to this video. So let's get started. To draw the Torus, we only need 3 things: a piece of paper, a compass, and a straight edge. I'm using this Virtues card for my straight edge to illustrate that you don't even need a ruler or a protractor to do this really cool design. The compass that I'm using today has a spot where I can put in whatever I want to draw with. Today I'm using a Faber-Castell Pitt pen and it's a small point. I'm using a marker so that way you can see my lines. I have to admit this is not my favorite compass. It's a little bit on the flimsy side. I have another one that I prefer, but it has a lead point, and I really want you to be able to see my lines today. The compass has 2 arms. The second arm has a needle, and this is where we're going to be positioning the compass at the center of our circle. It's important when you draw your circle that you're holding it from the top. This will ensure that you don't accidentally shift the distance between these 2 arms. That's really important that these 2 distances remain the same throughout this entire exercise, or else you're going to end up with, you just won't be able to make the design. All right, so let's start by taking this needle and placing it at the center where we want our mandala to be. And you take and you just swivel around, holding it from the top to draw your circle. To draw your second circle, you place the needle anywhere on the circle. I always start from the right because this way, since I know I always begin from the right, I know where I begin and where I'm going to end. Helps me to keep track. So you place your needle on that line and you swivel around to draw your second circle. Okay. Where the first circle and the second circle intersect, right there, that's where we're going to place the needle of our compass. Now we're going to be doing the same pattern over and over again. That pattern is where the newest circle intersects with the first circle, that's where we place the needle of our pen. Now, what I want you to notice is that I always start drawing from the center. This is an important visual cue. This shows me that the distance between these 2 arms hasn't accidentally changed, and that's going to give me my perfect result. So I position that and I draw my next circle. There. Okay, what's that rule? The most recent circle, where it intersects with the first circle, that's where I place my needle. Position my point at the center, make sure I'm holding it from the top, and swivel it around. All right, we've got another one to draw. At that intersection, line it up in the center, swivel it around. And we have one more circle to draw to complete this first part of the pattern. There. Here we have the Seed of Life pattern. This pattern, you could stop right here and color it in. In fact, I have an example here in my journal that I can show you of where I did just that. I stopped there, and it's a beautiful design, and you could do all sorts of different things right within the petals and the spaces in between. This is called the Seed of Life, and it is the beginning pattern for a lot of other forms, including the Flower of Life and the Torus that I'm demonstrating today. So let's come back to our Seed of Life pattern here. And this is where we need our straight edge for this next part. Pick 2 petals in this pattern, and what we want to do is draw a circle where our compass is at the center of these 2 lines. An easy way to measure that is to take your straight edge and notice where these 2 circles intersect here on the edge. Line up your straight edge, the center and this line right here. Where they intersect, you're going to place your compass on that original circle that we drew. And again, we're going to place our point, the pen or pencil, at the center to make sure that that the design is going to come out, that the arm hasn't changed its distance. And we are going to rotate around. Now, what I want you to be aware of is where this new circle intersects with the original circle. That's where we're going to place the needle of our compass to draw our next circle. Okay, as I'm approaching that original circle, I'm going to put my finger there. So that way, as I keep drawing lines, I don't lose track of where I am. That's where I'm going to place the needle to draw this circle. Now, we drew 6 circles to draw the Seed of Life. Right now, we're going to be drawing 6 more circles to create our Torus pattern. That Torus pattern can be done. We're going to draw a 12 petaled Torus. And then I'm going to show you how you can keep taking it a step further and do a 24 petal Torus. Okay, notice how I just keep going around and around. Now, again, notice where it's intersecting. Gotta be careful here. Intersecting that original circle. That's showing me where I want to place my compass. It's so neat when you see this pattern unfolding. Okay, so I'm going to swivel back around so I can see where I left off. Okay, so now I've gone all the way around. If you were to count, we have 12 petals here. This is the 12 petal Torus. Now you can stop here, and I did that with this pattern right here. Look how beautiful that is. There's so many different ways that you can color this in and embellish it. All right, so we're going to take our 12 petal Torus and we're going to draw the 24, which means we're going to keep going around 2 more times. So just as we created this one by bringing out our straight edge and finding the center point, we're going to do that again. So here I am, I'm looking at these two petals, and I'm going to use this as my guide for where I want to place my compass. And so I'm going to line up my straight edge from the center, intersecting these lines here. I place my compass on that original circle. Again, that's my guide. And I'm going to place my point where? In the center. So this way I know I've got it lined up. Rotate it around, holding it from the top. Now watch where, keep an eye of where that circle intersects with the original circle. This is where we're going to place our needle to draw our next circle. It's pretty neat how the same pattern, as we go around and around, creates this gorgeous design. See, again, notice how I put my finger there so I don't lose track. Otherwise, I do. There gets to be too many lines, and especially if I'm a little bit distracted with stuff going on in my day, I really get lost here. I find, in fact, that in order to draw mandalas, especially with this kind of a pattern, I can't be thinking about anything else. I have to be present to what I'm doing. And that's a good thing, because when we let go of our worries and our stress and we focus on creating something beautiful, then that's where the healing begins. That's when we start letting go of that stress. Stress is a killer. And we all have it. Everybody. Good stresses and negative stresses. Okay, so we've just worked our way, and we need to complete the pattern by working our way around the circle one more time. Bring our straight edge out. We can see here, this is where we need to intersect here, that big open space. So make sure you line it up with the center. Take your point needle, put it there, line up your pen with the center, and swivel it around. Okay, that's one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ta-da! This is the 24 petaled torus. Now for coloring this in and embellishing it, some people will erase this line here. That's another good reason for using a pencil. You may draw that line in pencil and the rest of your lines in ink. Or you can keep that in, and some people like to create guidelines where all these intersections are. That can be really helpful. It's a tool for creating that hypnotic eye. So what you do is you take your compass and the needle, put it in the center, and you move it out to where that line intersects, and All right, now that we've learned how to draw the torus, we've seen how we can color it as the hypnotic eye, now let's take a look at more possibilities of how you can take this torus yantra and create some incredibly beautiful mandalas. Take a look at these mandalas from members from the 100 Mandalas community. Are you excited to pull out your compass and start creating these beautiful mandalas? I sure hope so. But if that's not your thing and you'd rather color than create, well, I've got you covered on that too. Swing by 100mandalas.com and check out the show notes for this episode. There you'll find a link where you can download a couple different variations of this torus yantra. And for those of you who do like to draw your own mandalas, you might want to print those up because they're great for creating rough drafts and working out some of your coloring ideas before you work with your final designs. All right, so what's coming up next? Well, in my next video, I'm going to share with you that I'm a cover girl. That's right, I'm going to reveal to you just what magazine you're going to find me on the cover. It's pretty exciting, so much so that I'm probably going to release that video in a couple of days. So you don't miss out on that. Be sure to swing by facebook.com/100mandalas. That's where I reveal the up-to-date latest stuff that's going on. Now, if you're not on Facebook, that's okay. Subscribe to my newsletter, and once a week you get an email from me on everything that's been new in the last week. And I hope you'll subscribe because that's the best way to stay informed. In fact, people who are subscribed to my newsletter are the people who I invite to participate in submitting their mandalas in my videos. So if you want to be an active participant, definitely sign up for that newsletter because that's where you're going to find out what's new, what's happening, and how you can get involved. All right, well, I better go because, well, I want to get shooting that next video because I can't wait to reveal where I'm a cover girl. All right, I'll see you over at 100mandalas.com and have fun creating and coloring your mandalas.